There they go into the back. The blue light on. We have a race, and Satnova's beaten Pure Steel out by a length and a half.
Welcome to Talking Trots, hosted by Morts and Michael Radley on Tab Radio, Racing and Sport.
The sensational Sydney sider, Seals to Sam, comes off the back straight. He's a bucket load of alliteration, this fellow.
Scott Bomber Hill will join the boys to look at the Friday night meeting at Gloucester Park, and Hayden King will find the winners for the weekend's racing.
Here comes Quinny. I'm the mighty Queen is 4 deep and letting go.
Sit back and enjoy Talking Trots with Morts and Michael Radley.
I'm the mighty Queen is just in front. Dasher VC can do no more, and the West Australian champion has done it again.
Yes, hello and welcome to another big edition of Talking Trots, and a big show coming up. We've got the informed Dylan Egerton-Green coming along to chat to us about what a big book of drives he's got tomorrow night, and also as a trainer. And I think Scott Bomber Hill's going to tumble into a few of them, so it might be all about DEG tonight on Talking Trots. But a big week in harness racing, an action-packed night last Friday night as I introduced Glen Mortimer. And Morts, unfortunately, we had a fall just before the start of race number 2, and we had a rerun. Unfortunately, Emily's broken a collarbone and out for a prolonged period of time, and our mare, Better's Destroyer, unfortunately came down. She's still at the vet's getting sorted out because she did have an issue with the knee which needed cleaning out, but hopefully she comes through all okay, and it was going to be a last run to be retired, Morts, and not the best way to go out, but hopefully she's going to be okay and then straight to the breeding park.
Yeah, thankfully for smart thinking by Justin to drop her off at the vet on the way home from Gloucester Park just to make sure she got the best treatment possible straight away, and a speedy recovery to Emily Savelko. So, our thoughts with Emily, and hopefully she gets back very soon. Last Friday night, Michael, was a fair effort on the punt. Bomber broke square, but he got us the multi at $3.30. Hayden had one tip for Zip.
And he bagged his horse that ended up winning.
Absolutely bagged and got up and won.
Yeah, the reverse mock gets them all the time. Morts?
Excellent pacing, as always, last Friday night at GP. Big finish, Ashane Girl in the second. Absolutely amazing. Didn't look a chance at the top of the straight. Got up on the line. Strong win, Finvara in 155.9. Home in 27.2. Paid trial for Magnificent Storm. 152.5, Michael, for the 17.30. Home in 27.1 and 26.7. Fess Up was just too good. Brilliant drive, Hayden DeCampo and Flow Rider first up. How good was that?
Yep.
From 7 or 8, just got across to the fence and just travelled up beautifully on the corner and won well. So Friday night at GP, we had a training treble to Gary Hall Senior and a training double to Hayden DeCampo, driving treble to Junior, and a driving treble to Hayden DeCampo as well. The boy is in some sort of form. Friday at Wagen, training double to Kim Prentice and Brad Lynn, driving doubles to Corey Peterson and Madeline Young. Great win at Wagen to Crowd Control in the first. Corey,
did we get the $7?
I think we got 7%. It paid $1.07, I think. But great win. Corey just lifted the reins and he put 20 metres on them. Home in 27.7. Good friend of mine's got a share in that, Nathan Berryman. So going very well. Saturday at Northam, driving double to Denny. Great drive by Callan Savelko to win the York Cup with Ardence Horizon. Got to the front, and that was all over. Monday at Pinjarra, training double to Colin Brown and the very powerful Michael Young stable, driving treble to Gary Hall Jr., double to Mitch Miller and Madison Brown. Let's try Madison Brown. GP Tuesday, driving double to Denny and Bunbury. Wednesday was a training double to Aiden, so lots going on.
And good to see Madison in the car, because she did come out on Friday night in the first taker race number 2, but it was more precautionary than anything else, so I think, the stand down. But good to see her straight back in the car and winning races.
Certainly is, and the good thing about tonight's guest is he has got a great book of
we'll talk about informed
training on Friday night, but we know what happens with people that come on the show. doubles, trebles, you name it. So it should be a big night.
Let's hope it continues. Before we introduce our guests, one of the features tomorrow night is the Western Crown. There's one for the 2-year-old fillies and one's for the 2-year-old colts and geldings. And Cork Can Run at Tab Touch is $1.30, opened up favourite, and there's a reason why. I went very good first up and then franked the form with a win both at Pinjarra in successive weeks, and then comes to Gloucester Park for the Western Crown. Before we introduce Dylan, let's go back and listen to Cork Can Run breaking through at Pinjarra at the end of May.
Usain with Star of the Galaxy, but into the straight. Cork Can Run leading by 3. Golden Load has gone to second. A fight for third currently. Usain coming through on the setter with Star of the Galaxy the outside, but it's all Cork Can Run. Egerton-Green hasn't moved and comes down to the post. Favourite salutes by 2.5 lengths. It's Cork Can Run from Golden Load.
As I said, he put the writing on the board with his first up run and then got the cash in the second, and we welcome in his trainer and driver, Dylan Egerton-Green. Dylan, welcome to the program.
Yeah, good morning, boys. How are we travelling out there?
Yeah, really good. Probably not as good as you at the moment. Geez, your team's going good.
Yeah, I had a bit of luck. I've got a few nice ones that have come through the stable since we've made the move. So, fortunately, it's made the move a lot easier than what I first thought it was going to be. But, yeah, there's still tough times. But, yeah, no, the horses are going well and it's been really enjoyable. So,
Dylan, can you tell us about the new property that you're in?
Yeah, obviously moved into a place in Serpentine that we purchased off Michael's in-laws. So, yeah, he's going to be cashed up in years to come. So,
hopefully.
and we've obviously had a bit of work to have the numbers that we sort of wanted to have in work. And, it's fortunate enough the way we've sort of got it rolling at the moment with a good team of workers. It's ticking over quite nicely.
And you seem to have a good mix, Dylan, like some nice young horses coming through and some more horses that have been there and done that.
Yeah, obviously it's probably been a bit more of luxury for myself. Rob Tomlinson and Oswest Pacing have obviously bred a few, bought a few and had a few going along, which has made my journey a little bit easier. But, yeah, I've got a few other owners on the way which have chipped in and made life a bit easier too. So, it's good to have different age groups because then you can sort of place them a bit better, and I like to drive them myself, so that works out all right.
And how many do you have in work at the moment, Dylan?
We just aim to have around 20, and we're sitting at I think 19 at the moment. That's working quite comfortably. Obviously, with a bit of rain that we've had, it hasn't been as enjoyable, but everything's handled the water quite well. So, fingers crossed it keeps going.
And what do you do as a team? Do you set out goals at the start of the year in terms of races, amount of races you'd like to win, or any? Do you set yourself any particular goals that would like to achieve? WA Derby, this. Have you got a good plan as to what you'd like to do?
Obviously, we like to aim high, but probably as long as every year's better than the last, which is hard to do. That's quite well, but probably just to try and keep aiming for feature races and to get the horses into the races and to be more than competitive. That's pretty much the main goal. And if they can come out with the win, then that's what we really aim for. But as long as the horses perform as best that they can for those races, that's good.
And you've made your name for yourself as one of the leading drivers, and you've won virtually every big race for virtually a lot of different stables. Do you prefer training, or do you still like driving?
I do love training. It comes with its stakes, to be fair, but there's probably no bigger thrill than training and driving one and knowing that you've had to put every bit of effort into it to get it there. But in saying that, if you are just driving, you can pack up and go home at the end of the day, and it sort of doesn't become your problem. But I enjoy it. I think with the numbers that I sort of have, it works quite well where you can still freelance enough to keep your head above water if the training horses aren't starting or just on their way up. So, it's good doing both, but probably the hardest bit is finding somewhere to train from and I've been fortunate enough that my driving was able to fund me setting up a place to train from, which a lot of others is a bit difficult, which is what Ra was sort of hopefully aiming to do. But yeah, that's probably the hardest bit.
Geez, I think I might take up driving if it's going to work out that way. You're a 30-year-old.
You've got to have some ability, Morts. Let's face it.
I knew I was missing something, Michael. Dylan, you're a 30-year-old. You've had 893 wins as a driver, 9 Group 1s, $10 million in stakes. As a trainer, 175 wins, 2 Group 1s and $2 million in stakes. And your first Group 1 as a trainer and driver was Zafira. That must be one of the highlights of the career so far.
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, we all strove for the pacing cup, and yeah, that was very good to get that. But then you sort of look on to other things, and yeah, obviously training first Group 1 was good. Yeah, I got her, and I was pretty lucky. She had a few things wrong with her, and we were able to get the best out of her at the time. So yeah, that's probably stands out as one of the better things that's happened in my career. But yeah, along the way, you probably put down your first ever driving success was probably one of the biggest highlights of your day.
Well, you're only 30 years old, so you've got plenty more time to achieve all of the highs in harness racing. How did you find the Inter-Dominion experience, taking Too Fast, Too Serious across and there at Jody Quinlan Stables?
Yeah, that was a very good experience. I was probably very fortunate and lucky enough to get the opportunity to do it. Probably taking our time again, we probably didn't have the right horse at the right probably stage of his career to take. But he held his own, and due to a bit of bad luck, he didn't really have a good series. But I did learn a lot and learn a few different ways of training, and yeah, it was probably good to learn how to travel horses for the future. And yeah, I really enjoyed that, to be fair. Yeah,
that's that whole learning when you're travelling is just going to hold you in great stead for the future. But like you said, unfortunately, a bit of bad luck, and he drew the outside in his first heat, and then you're always chasing, which makes it difficult. But I'm sure it was very good, and then you were a part of the first Nullarbor race as well in WA.
Yeah, that was really good. Probably credit to a fair few people that got that up and going. It looked like it's going to be a huge success for the future going forward in harness racing in WA. And I was happy enough to have a horse starting it, driving it, and he competed quite well against probably the best. That was a huge thrill. Probably just a shame about the weather on the night, that it didn't have the atmosphere that it had hyped up to be. So looking forward to the next one, and I'm sure that it'll be bigger and better again.
Yeah, I agree. It was brilliant to have the Eastern States horses come across, because they hadn't raced here. Spirit of St. Louis had one race, but it just added some intrigue to the race that you didn't really know it was going to happen. And the only downside, as Dylan said, was the fact that it rained. Apart from that, I thought it had everything.
Yeah, the rain kept people away, but they certainly didn't keep them from betting on it and getting engaged, because I think it was the 6th largest turnover race ever in WA, which which franks its success and says, yep, apart from outside the 3 Inter-Dominions, consecutive Inter-Dominions, and 2 races during COVID, which were inflated because of everyone staying at home, and particularly East Coast, it's the biggest outside COVID in the Inter-Dominions, which is saying something, and all goes well for the future, because it's certainly created a lot of interest all the way through, and I think next year's going to be even better.
Well, we're going to try and add to that turnover right now when we have it. So, Dylan, you've got some very good chances tomorrow night. You've got one in the second, but it's going to be, I would think, pretty tough out there in Barrier 8 with Altaret. But heading into the 5th, you've got Rockmeister, who's won 3 out of 4 this time back, up against the Shani Girl, who was outstanding last week. And then you've got Illawarra Mustang, who must be a chance for the exotics. How do you see the start here, Dylan?
He's been going quite well, Rockmeister. He's obviously stepped up in grade every start that he's had back, and he's proven last start that he can match it again. There does seem to be a little bit of gate speed in this again. I did hold his head honcho last start, so hoping that we can do the same. Obviously, probably our aim to lead and try and get away with what we can. And yeah, I see him running a good race again. But as you touched on, the one at Hall, he's gone quite well. And yeah, it's probably going to need a little bit of luck too. But I think he'll run a really good race, and quite like the horse. Yeah,
it's a very competitive race, as we touched on with Shani Girl.
170 Tab Touch Rockmeister, a Shani Girl 550, Rock on top for Hayden Campo $7.
Yeah, it's
Goodfellas inside, Goodfellas outside the front line at $5, and he's a cool watch at $7.50. The runners in the market, but yeah, Rockmeister 170 punters. I think he's the one to be.
Into it should be a very good race, and then in the next race, in the 2-year-old fillies Western Crown, you've got Nazi Vera. I don't know if that's how you pronounce it, but was very green first up, and then held up last start before finding the line very well. I got a fair bit of time for this horse. How has she come on from the last start, Dylan?
Yeah, touch wood, she seemed to pull out really well, and her work during the week was probably better than ever. She's come up with a nice draw. Her gate speed last start was probably touch slow from what we sort of seen, but she wasn't sort of bustled as the favoured runner was drawn her inside. So, we'll look to run the gate with her. Obviously, Princess Katie's drawn to her outside, which should hopefully carry her forward. It gets out the gate quite quick, to be fair. So, I'm sure Mine's been drawn next to her can match it. She's got a pretty level head on her. And, I'll give her some sort of chance in this. To be fair, you've given her excuses for past 2 starts, but I'll put it down to bad drives that she hasn't come out in the top 2 positions. So, hopefully I can get it right this week and we can come out with a win. Yeah,
I'll certainly be on board. I think she's got
320 favourite on Tab Touch out of Princess Katie at 360.
Yeah, she's got some good ability. And off the back line, you've got Miss Hepburn as well, which should be in the running line. So another very good race. And then in race 7, Cork Can Run. Very good first up behind the Little Master, home in 27.4 and 27.8, not beaten by very far. And then next start came out and won fairly easy. Looks a nice type, going to be very short in this, but still got Hayden's horse in this one on the back foot, which is last start winner. How do you expect Cork Can Run to go tomorrow night, Dylan?
Yeah, been happy with how he's pulled up. Probably the only downfall is 18 days between runs, but I've stepped his work up with a few older ones to match the race day fitness, and he's shown that he's right up there and he should be right on the money tomorrow night. Got a fair bit of time for him, and I think he'll be hard to beat.
Yeah, no, got to agree. And then in the next race 8, you've got the York Cup winner Arden's Horizon against you, but Otis, tough run last start out there in the breeze when they just ran along in front for the whole journey. Excellent first up off the back of a very, very good trial. Looks very hard to beat again tomorrow night.
He should go good. They're very happy with the way he's worked on from his previous 2 starts. I think just the early quarters working up outside. So Jones probably was the bit that undone him, whereas he sort of didn't have to work that hard in his first start, and he was able to run a good solid last half to get home. So, I think the way Arden's Horizon gets away, it'll probably get away quicker than me. My bloke's sort of just new to the stands, and he got away safe second up, so that's all we'll be aiming for. Once that sort of eventuates, we can put him into the race where we have to, and hopefully it's at the right time. But I'm confident he's big and strong enough that we'll probably be able to outstay Arden's Horizon anyway.
Yeah, he was very good in the York Cup, Arden's Horizon, but your trial before his first up run was outstanding, and then he was really good first up when he got up to win. So looking forward to that race. And then in race 10, What a Bro in a small field, racing well, small field, but it's going to be pretty tough.
Yeah, he's actually racing quite well. He just relies on a bit of luck in the company, but if we can give him a good good trip. I'm sure he'll be finishing off well. He's probably one just to keep following to when he can get a good draw or to when he can get a good bit of running. So, yeah, don't rule him out if the race is run his way.
Yep, I like that, and you've got a great book tomorrow night, so I look forward to that.
You certainly do, Dylan. You're driving you've got the two favourites in the Western Crown. You've got Otis going around and a number of good chances. Mate, really appreciate you coming on. Hopefully your success continues. You're certainly going great at the moment, and hopefully it continues into tomorrow night at Gloucester Park. Thanks
very much, boys. Have a good night, and we'll see you down there.
Beautiful. Dylan Egerton-Green there, who, as we said, I don't think there's anyone. Well, Hayden might be going better, but that's about it. The two young guns are flying at the moment.
Absolutely flying. We're very lucky. We've got some absolute.
I think we've got the
talent.
best group of young trainers in the country.
Real talent, and we've been spoiled, because we've always had the seniors, the Bonds, and these sorts of stables. But now we're seeing the emergence of, people like Dylan and Hayden and Ryan Bell and Michael Young and Justin Prentice.
Yep.
It's fantastic for harness racing.
Yep, no, it sure is, and Dylan's leading the way. As he said, he's at the new property and couldn't be going better out of that new property. And sometimes it takes a little bit to when you move and just get acclimatised and all that, but hasn't affected Dylan. He's hit the ground running and everything at the moment is going beautifully. Hopefully it continues for him.
Well, as I said earlier on tonight, 30 years old. Look at his resume so far.
Yeah.
He's
won, and as a driver, he's won Pacing Cups, Oaks, Derbies, Nuggets. Like he's won every big race on the calendar. And as a trainer, he's won his initial Group 1, and I think that'll just continue. I think you will see him a major force of driving his own horses into the future in these big races. So.
Yeah, when you can compete at the level he's competing at against such really good stables and good drivers, it's a mark of somebody who's got a outstanding career in front of them. Yep,
sure is. Now, Morts, this segment is brought to us by the one and only Retrovision, your local WA electrical appliance specialist. RAC members receive an additional 5% every day. Last week was the double discount. How'd that go?
Still exhausted, Michael. Honestly, it was an unbelievable weekend.
Yeah.
It is still one of the biggest weekends, trading weekends all year. It was great. Good to see the cash registers, running hot, and everybody came in and got a bargain. It was great, and plenty of people from the harness racing industry. So we do thank them very much indeed. But it's our half-yearly clearance, so there's still plenty of good bargains there.
Oh, of course. End of financial year.
Lots going on. Whatever you need, get into your local Retrovision store.
There you go. And there's plenty of them. Superstore, Joondalup, Cannington,
O'Connor, Bunbury, Busselton.
How big's Bunbury? Massive.
Absolutely massive, yeah. So, no, it's great. Esperance, Albany.
Yep.
Everywhere.
Yep, indeed. As we said, on Friday night there was a fall, and hopefully Emily is back to the track sooner rather than later, but obviously got to go through that, and Madison's back to the track already.
Yeah, that was great to see.
Yeah, so let's hope that tomorrow night goes off without a hitch. But it's good to see that we've continued, and the weather, which hasn't been great throughout the last couple of weeks, and we've managed to get these race meetings up, even, Pinjarra Monday. How was Pinjarra Monday, Hayden? You looked a bit wet.
It wasn't too bad. There was only a couple of little showers. It was sprinkling. It wasn't too heavy, so that was good for me.
Yeah.
And everyone else, I'm sure.
Indeed. So let's hope. There's a bit of rain around Perth the last couple of days even, but there's a chance of rain tomorrow. Let's hope that it misses the race meeting, though, Morts.
Yeah, certainly do. I must admit, we're down there last Friday night. And
it wasn't a great...
It's tough conditions.
Oh, it was.
Tough conditions, during winter, but...
yeah, particularly when you're having a night like we had.
Yeah, I've had better. Anyway, that's the way it goes.
Yeah.
Always...
How's Tricky
always
Mickey? Any
good.
news?
All good. All good. He, Justin obviously...
A head scratcher.
Yeah. Justin obviously had him checked out just to make sure that all was okay. And, yeah, one of those things. We can't really put a finger on it, so we'll push on and hopefully we can get him back to what form he showed last season.
Yeah. And during the week, Morts, the Tab announced their entrance into the Eureka slot race with the Lost Storm, who's out of the Emma Stewart, Clayton Tonkin barn. And it hasn't had a start as a 3-year-old as yet. When I had a quick look at its form, it was a start 2-year-old. I think it's won 7 out of 9 or something like that, and won I think the Vic bred at the end of last season. But tell you what, it's going to be tough for 3-year-olds this year against those superstar 4-year-olds. Leap of Fame, who continues, he's come back looking like he's King Kong. Catch of Wave is set for the race, and also Captain Ravishing is also in there as well. So I think 5 horses now have been put into the race, and the Lost Storm is the latest. So as we get closer to the Eureka in the first week of September.
They may get a preferential barrier draw, and they're going to need it, Michael, because those 4-year-olds are outstanding. Yeah, it's very difficult to see any 3-year-old that, even with a pref draw, that would beat one of those. Yeah,
vintage, just a vintage year for those. So
great race.
It's hard enough as it is normally, but let alone these superstars that are coming through. So, yeah, last start he won on New Year's Eve. Last start he had was the Vic bred for the 2-year-old Colts and Geldings, but it's a big step up to take on Leap of Fame and Catch of Wave, who won a Miracle Mile.
Certainly.
You're racing against a Miracle Mile winner. You haven't even had a 3-year-old start. So
the only good thing, Michael, it's a bit like the gallops with the Cox Plate.
Exactly.
The 3-year-old sneak in and, with the weight for age. So it's just the 3-year-old coming in against the 4-year-olds, preferential draw, luck in racing. It just adds a bit of intrigue to it. So, but it's going to be very tough.
Let's hope we get a few out of this Eureka come and maybe tackle the Nullarbor next year.
Yes, that'd be great.
Yeah, horses. Because they're 5, so obviously not ready, not eligible.
Not eligible. Yeah.
So, will be interesting, Morts, heading into it. So, but one horse. We mentioned, as I said, the fall and the rerun of that race, of race number 2 last week, and Shanae Girl was never going to win, was she?
I couldn't see.
I didn't get to see the race, and I think I asked you, and you went, just watch the replay.
Just couldn't see how it could win on the turn.
Yeah,
amazing. So big run.
All right, let's go to the break and let's listen to a Shanae Girl winning take 2 of the fillies and mares from last week.
Special Lady got away from Cherish the Memories, who found nothing under pressure. Bolted away this leader, Special Lady, in 28.7. A Charney Girl's going to flash late with Miss Serenade. Special Lady's clear though. A Charney Girl down the outside. Cherish the Memories tries to come back. Special Lady in front. A Charney Girl's absolutely motoring down the outside and got up. A Charney Girl has careered down the middle of the track with a brilliant run to beat Special Lady, who stopped late.
You are listening to Talking Trots with Morts and Michael Radley.
Out wide, a Prince of Pleasure trying to get to them. Then came the Mustang, but Finbarra does it well. Top of the straight, gets away from himself. And then came the Mustang and Prince of Pleasure, but it's all Finbarra racing right away from himself, the Mustang, and in 4th position, Prince of Pleasure. And that's the way they look like finishing, with Finbarra winning easily. Second home.
Yeah, he's a serious horse, Finbarra, and was one of our bigger bets last week from Bomber Hill, and he got the cash, and Max and Bill were there to watch him go around, which is great to see, Gloucester Park members, and great to see him get the cash with Finbarra.
He's been a work in progress for many years, Finbarra. He's had his issues, but he's a very nice horse, and it was a good win Friday night. Very good win.
Yeah,
really good win.
Well, this segment is brought to you by Steel Blue Boots, built for comfort, made for work, Morts, and no one knows that better than you, because you're never got them off.
And one thing which I learned today, Michael, which I did not know, I love watching the surfing, and I know you're probably an avid surfer yourself.
Yes.
You get out in the water quite often.
Yes.
You can see by the tan lines, but
my complexion.
But Ben Wilkinson is a big wave surfer, one of those crazy people. That the real big number 2 in the world. He wears steel boots.
Does he?
Steel blue boots. Yeah.
On the board.
Not on the board, no, but he does wear steel blue boots. Right. I only found that out today, which is, I thought it was great, but you obviously...
Bruce.
So steel blue boots, designed for comfort, durability and choice, backed by a 30-day, 100% comfort guarantee. They are a mark of true skill.
Yep, they certainly are. Chef Bruce was wearing them last week, the new black leather ones.
Steel blues.
Tell you what, we kept on getting confused because Bruce Jones was with us.
Right. 2 Bruces.
And when we were talking about Chef Bruce and ordering the food, we sort of got a bit lost
and I must say,
in the conversation.
I must say, Michael, the food there...
the mixed grill was fantastic last week.
Outstanding. Really good. It's a great feed and it's really well priced. Comes out pretty quick.
Yep.
Walk out, watch a trot, come back, and away you go.
Yep.
Really good food down there.
It was enjoyable. Well, once we got all the issues over with, we actually had not a bad night just sitting there having a chat with Ross and Bruce. All right, it's time to welcome in our man Scott Bomber Hill. Bomber, welcome to the program.
Thanks, guys. Great to be here.
Not a too bad a night last week. We took some prices and they were well supported and got the cash.
Yeah, got a couple of winners there, and the mouldy up, so snuck our nose in front for the night. But had copped a few deductions with the Charnay girl, but she was impressive, wasn't she?
Yeah, she was. Just played it, and it was really good. All right, we're going to kick off this week's preview with race number 5, On the Mighty Quinn Pace. It's over the 2130 metres, and Dylan Egerton-Green has 1 and 2. He's driving Rockmeister the 1 and 175 into 170. Illawong Mustang $51. Rock on Top $7. A Charnay Girl at $5.50 in from $6.50. Street Appeal 126. He's a Head Honcho 101. Cheer the Major at 51. You can take out the 8. Goodfellas is at $9. Then we've got He's a Cool Mac at $7.50 inside the back line. Alpha Prince at 21 and Special Lady at 101. Desiderio goes into barrier 8. It's at 126. Bomber, which way are we going for race number 5 on the Mighty Quinn?
Yeah, with the pole marker, Rad's Rockmeister, he's a horse that just continues on this upward spiral, and whilst he again goes up in grade, I see nothing to suggest he won't handle it. He comes up with a plum draw and looks to lead. He's a Head Honcho, wasn't even able to get close last time, and he's probably the fastest beginner off this front line again, so I expect him to hold up comfortably. He ran a 56.5 last time, 37 lead time. I think the sectionals will be very similar and makes it pretty hard to run him over.
Well, he's $4 here on the on this, which would be a lovely price, given how well
add that to the $7 with crowd control, will you?
Given how well he's going, but
nice mouldy.
He certainly looks very hard to beat there, Bomber, from the number 1. A Charnay Girl was unbelievable last start. You couldn't see how it could win on the turn. Hood blinkers go on, won 4 out of 4, and Illawong Mustang there for the exotics perhaps, but there's plenty of speed in this race, Bomber, so it should be a good race. What's your staking plan here? Race 5, number 1, Rockmeister.
Yeah, he's a 3-unit bet to kick us off. I just think rolling along out in front, as good as the Charnay Girl was last week, she won't be able to give this bloke that big a start, and he looks to get all the favours, I think.
And on our Gloucester Park social media, Scotty Hamilton has produced a lovely graphic, as he does. Morts, like the never-ending one.
Done some very good work, Scotty.
And he's got the hot streak with Rockmeister against a Charnay Girl. Picket fences almost for both of them, so they certainly are both in great form, and it's going to be a really good clash tomorrow night in the On the Mighty Quinn. The next race we're going to have a look at is race number 6. And it is the 2-year-old fillies edition of the Western Crown for $30,000 over the 1730 metres. And we've got Relatively Armour at $15, Miss Sharjah at $8.50, Nassau Vera at $3.20 favourite, Princess Katie at $3.60, Phil the Pug at $81, Bizarre Package at $21, Mania at $51, Lucy Kane at $51, Lunetta at $61. Then inside the back line we have Inner Wink at $5.50, Miss Hepburn, a winner from last week, at $6, and San Remo Beach at $19. Which way are we going in the 2-year-old fillies edition of the Western Crown, Bomber?
Yeah, I'm sticking with the informed stable with Dylan Egerton-Green and Nassau Vera. This filly took my eye at her only trial, and I've been on her at both starts. She's been a bit of a work in progress, but no doubt she's got a serious engine there, and she was very green on debut and actually did a pretty good job to finish close as she did. Then had zero luck last start, and I don't think anybody could argue she probably would have won that after being held up for a long time and then smashed the line late. Gate speed definitely questionable, but I thought she could cross the 2 inside her and either lead or find Princess Katie's back, and from there she's going to take all sorts of holding out.
Agree with you 100%, Bomber. I'm a bit of a fan of this horse. I have watched its 2 starts, and like you said, first up it hung very green, still hit the line nicely. Second up, just had absolutely no luck whatsoever, although listening to Dylan earlier in the show, he puts it down to driver error, but you can be very hard to beat in this. Race 6, number 3, Nazi Vera. What's your betting strategy, Bomber?
Yeah, she's a 2-unit bet. I've got no doubt she's going to make the best filly in the race. And third up, she's probably going to have taken more benefit than these that are only 2 starts. I think this is probably spot on for her.
Yeah, agree. Couldn't agree more.
Did open at $3.50 and now $3.20 outright favourite for our on-top selection, Nazi Vera. Now, Morts, last week we had Magnificent Storm go around the members' sprint. It was only a 4-horse race with San Real out and went around at $1.04 and everyone expected her to win. But what about the last half? 27-1, 26-7 home. He was low flying.
Certainly was, and once again, great steer, but beautifully just driven out of the barriers by Aiden, as you'd expect, and just put the foot down at the end and blew the cobwebs out, and was just great to see him. He's in full flight at the moment, and if he heads across to Queensland, he'll be extremely competitive.
And tell you what, the Queenslanders can't wait to get there. I heard a message from Steve Hewlett, who's from Tab Radio over there, and obviously they're getting excited about him coming over. And he asked us about, records around the last quarter at Gloucester Park with the 26-7, but not quite. Soho Tribeca in a heat of the Dominion went 26-2 home. Magnificent Storm's actually gone 26-3 and 26-4 home in different starts. And I'll tell you who's also gone 26-3. A little horse by the name of Major Martini.
Is he really?
Yes. So the other runners at Chicago Ball won a 26-4 as well. And I tell you what, another horse, a wonderful fly's gone 26-5 in a race. Lavra Joe's gone 26-5. Tiger Tara in one of those heats of the Indian has also gone 26-5. So thanks to Gary Tordo for sending through the stats on those fastest last quarters. But some interesting stats there.
That's a pretty good honour roll of horses that have gone the 26. Some outstanding paces there. Yeah. But looking forward to Magnificent Storm going across. And as we said last week, we're going to have the great Ben Cray back on to talk us through those races over there in Queensland and give us a deeper dive. So looking forward to that.
Yeah, certainly. Looking forward to it too.
We know Magnificent Storm will acquit himself well.
Oh, no doubt.
He's
going
probably is better than he's ever been going.
Yep, sure is. Let's go to the break and let's listen to Magnificent Storm low flying, getting home in 26-7.
And then about 15 to 20 metres too faster than Dad and Cordero. But Magnificent Storm's opening up now, and look at him go. He is like Pro Chevalier up the straight. Magnificent Storm. He's 15 metres in front of Ima 5-Star General. This last quarter is going to be anything. And Magnificent Storm cuts through in 26-7, winning by 20 metres to Ima 5.
Talking Trots with Morts and Michael Radley on Tab Radio, Racing and Sport.
Push 4 deep is in a Winkers 8 corner. Princess Katie's into the clear strongly now. Around the turn. And the leader on the inside is Miss Hepburn, but Princess Katie's after Miss Hepburn. Miss Hepburn joined by Princess Katie. Princess Katie, Miss Hepburn. Princess Katie, Miss Hepburn comes back on Princess Katie. They split the line. Miss Hepburn. Just one from Princess Katie.
Yeah, Miss Hepburn, who goes around in the Western Crown for 2-year-old fillies, winning last week, looking to make it 2 on the bounce this week in the $30,000 race tomorrow night. All right, Morts. This segment is brought to you by Loans 123 Car Loans, Debt Consolidations, or your personal finance. Who do you see?
The Nude Nuts, Steve Sell.
Yeah, you can contact them at loans123.com.au or
1-800-100-100.
And they are still doing things the banks can't.
Yes, and no need for Steve last Friday night.
Thank God.
It was good.
Thank God.
Could even afford to buy ourselves a drink. No,
Yeah.
it was not required. But if you do need anything, he is the man to go and see, Steve Sell. He's a terrific bloke too, Steve.
He sure is. And great supporters of us, great supporters of Tab Radio in general, and sport in WA. He certainly is. He's a great man. All right. Mort's favourite place, Steelos at Gloucester Park, is the naming rights for the next race we're going to look at, race number 8, the stand start over 25.03 metres. And let's have a look at the Tab Touch market. And we've got Brewery Lane at $41, De Horse at $10, Libra Racy at $101, Arden's Horizon at $3, G Smith $31, I'm Spider-Man $34, Otis is the favourite $185, American Bullet $12, Beat the Bank $10, and Middle Page $10. Bomber, race number 8, the stand start, Steelos at Gloucester Park, pace, which way are we going?
Yes, backing up with Otis here. He was beaten last time when we were on him, but he got posted outside of a really nice horse. They're running nice sectionals, and that left him vulnerable late. The big advantage I think he has here is that whatever lands in front will almost certainly hand over to him when he gets there. And over the longer trip, he looks to be able to take his time, get around. I think he will roll to the front. Beat the Bank, finished second in that race last time from behind the leader, but he goes back to outside the 10, and he's beaten many of these on their merits at his 2 runs resuming. So, yeah, he just looks to win, I think. I can't, unless he blows the start horribly, I can't see him beaten.
$1.85 in the stand. What's the staking plan there, Bomber?
I'm tipping you won't be following us in
Not much commentary around. Not much commentary. Bomber. You've got the. What do they say? The cold shoulder and the warm tongue.
Bomber.
I did sense that, Rads.
How many units, Bomber?
We're going to go a 3-unit bet, Morts, and then we'll move over to race 11, eh?
3-unit bet. Otis's trial was brilliant. First up was brilliant, and last start was just a bit tough out there in the breeze. And had to punch up to
second up syndrome.
Yeah, it was a bit tough.
Yeah, and he was massive first up. He may have just been a little bit flat off the back of that.
Yeah. And Dylan, off the back of our interview, I reckon you'll get a bag of winners.
And I've tipped him. I've just noticed I've tipped him in the first 3 there. So
big night for Dylan. So all right. Otis in race number 8, and then the last race. Tell you what, I don't think this should have been the last race. This should have been higher up in the program as far as wagering goes. But let's have a look at race number 11, and as I have a look at the markets, the Tab Touch pace. And we have a look at the market. We've got Make It Happen at $12, Walsh at $6.50, Hot Foot at $26, Vintage Blue $9, Sovrana, very closely related to Better's Destroyer, at $2, Might of Time at $6, Ideal Charm $201, Cloud 9 at $7.50, Run for Mercy at $21, Sahara Storm at $17, and the Kraken at $21. Can we go home backing a winner, Bomber?
I think so. We're going to go home on the leader, I think, at least in number 5, Savrana. She comes out on roller skates when asked, and I think she'll cross here. She's taken a sit last time in a much hotter race, but she did try and lead all the way in the Oaks last campaign when she flew across and led from 9. She led them to about the 100-metre mark and then was swallowed up on that occasion to be beaten not too far. She's third up from a spell. Had a really good hit out last time, despite following the leader. She was chasing a long way out, and she should be pretty well rock hard fit for this. I expect her to give them plenty to chase.
Agree, Bomber. The race 11, number 5, Sovrana, from the very informed stable of Aiden DeCampo, driving and training beautifully at the moment. Nobody gets him out of the gates better than anybody in WA. What's the staking plan in the last, Bomber?
Yeah, she's a 2-unit bet. Morts, as I said, she's going to lead a long way, and I expect that she'll probably get the job done.
Yep, I like it.
It's going to be good going home a winner, Morts. As I said, always like to back the last winner. That's why.
Now, Michael, you said that race should probably be on earlier. So who actually does the order of races on the night?
The harness office.
Right.
Yeah, and I think
with no input.
I haven't had any input for the race fields, but I think one of the reasons is it's a $9,000 race, but punters don't actually care
whether it's a $2,000 race or a $100,000
No,
race.
if they bet on it. So I think the same thing happened last week as well. It was the last race should have been higher. So I think the race order might change going forward in the coming weeks, and those races will be moved forward. Good
to hear.
Yep, and Bomber, have you got a multi for us?
Yeah, we're going to go a three-legger this week. I thought race 3, number 6, Faster Than Dad for the place. I think he can actually win the race, but I don't think he'll miss a place. He's just got a really, really good turn of foot, and that'll put him in good stead late. Into race 4, number 3, Wonderful to Fly. I think she'll just roll to the top and be too good. And race 7, number 3, another one that I expect to just be too good. Cork Can Run. He's got plenty of ability, this bloke, and whilst brought to light is in the race and also got its fair share of ability, looks to still be doing a bit wrong. So I think Cork Can Run on the pegs will get the job done to finish out the multi.
All right, so we've got $1.55 into $1.30 into $1.30, which is about a $2.60 return. And I'll tell you what, Bomber, that's a really good race. The fillies and mares again here. Race number 4, we've got Steno drawn 1, Miss Badika, who's been racing well. Wonderful to Fly in 3, Miss Lamar taking the mickey. Simply Shaz, who's just a giant killer. My Prayer won its last start, and 18 Carat was the benchmark for the mares going back 6 months ago. Really good race. Be interesting to see what happens with Steno here and the tactics in this race, because it's a cracking mares race.
Yeah, it is. You wouldn't mind owning any of them, really. They've all done a wonderful job and continue to do so. But yeah, she's just flying. Wonderful to Fly. I'd be surprised if Steno tried to hold her out. May do, but I'd be surprised.
Yeah, okay. It certainly is a great race, and the mares are going great guns at the moment. So let's hopefully we've found a few winners for everyone, Bomber, and we send them home a winner. Thanks for your time this week, and we'll speak to you next week.
Shall do. Thanks very much, guys. Have a great night.
Good on you. Scott Bomber Hill, our form expert there, and he's on top of the world with the Bombers going well, Morts, as well.
Yeah, big win against the old arch enemy last weekend, Carlton. Always good to beat them. West Coast, good to nail them.
Well, and actually he's going all right in the NRL tipping contest still. I think he's sitting second.
Okay.
The Running Camels in third spot. I'm just a couple off him in about equal 6th. So
just taking a sit.
Yeah, well,
3 pegs.
Actually, yeah. So I was hoping for a bit of luck at some stage. We're not too far off.
Just wait for about the 3rd or 4th last round, and then get a nice card in, and off you go.
Yeah, bit of congestion at the top, and we'll get the cash.
Beautiful.
One of the good winners last week, Morts, and the Watsons were there to watch it. Rob Watson and the team. Soho Dow Jones.
Very good win.
Yeah. He looks like he's a nice horse, doesn't he?
Yes. No, it was a great win. Good they were on course too.
Yep. And let's go to the break and let's listen to Soho Down Jones. Mitchell Miller driving for Kim Prentice. It was sent out $1.50 favourite and never looked like it was going to get beat.
The Goodfellas is out wide running on. The inside Cheer the Major, and then Illawong Mustang 28.70 goes for the leader now. Soho Dow Jones clear over Cheer the Major and Goodfellas the outside. Soho Dow Jones in front from Goodfellas, Cheer the Major and Rock on top. Soho Dow Jones is doing it well over the final stages, and Soho Dow Jones wins it nicely. Second in the middle, Cheer the Major, I'd say.
You are listening to Talking Trots with Morts and Michael Radley.
Relatively Armour, who's behind the lead, and a length away to Hurricane Joy. Into the straight, it's Lucy Kane. Relatively Armour down to the sprint lane. Still there is Star of the Galaxy on the outside on the back foot. Lucy Kane in front, Relatively Armour, and on the back foot, unwinding now inside the closing 50 and sprints up to hit the lead on the back foot. And on the back foot wins a length and a half to Lucy Kane with Relatively Armour.
What about the reverse mock last week, Morts?
Yes, worked beautifully.
Our man Hayden, no, it's no good. It's no good. And all of a sudden, thought they were going to get a price. $3 as well. Did you take any of the $3, Hayden?
No, I had nothing on.
In the end, it was a soft win.
Yeah, well,
Almost
he surprised me how fast he sprinted, actually. I didn't think he had that much speed, but...
Bobbled halfway up the straight.
Yeah, he was exactly running past me, so he must have seen me, and Michael and Kiara weren't happy with me. They said, he's heard what you've been saying about him, and he obviously saw me and he got a bit threatened, but he went past me, balanced up, and got his act together to win.
Yeah, got the cash, and
Yes, congratulations. Well done.
Thanks.
Now in the $30,000 final.
Yeah. Well, we're in the race.
Yeah, another it always works, the reverse mock. The
Can't win.
I
Can't win.
I don't know if that is true, Michael.
Yeah. I know a lot of people that swear by it.
This is my philosophy.
all these people that are superstitious and all that, they...
Bettor's Destroyer might have copped the odd sledge over the time, but...
Yeah.
This is my philosophy on punting. You should always bet expecting to lose, because that way your mindset is just better, because if you're going in expecting to lose, anything's a bonus and you can't be disappointed. It's hard to do, but that's the philosophy. And also, I know a lot of people are superstitious, but if you're superstitious, I think you're...
Go on, say it. Say it.
I think you're a donut.
A donut.
Yeah.
I know, like...
Do you have... So there's nothing you're superstitious about?
No, I will do things like, if maybe I tap my foot or something, I'll tap the other foot in the same spot, but that's just me being a weirdo. That's not a superstition or anything.
Yeah, that's a good point.
It's OCD.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I know trainers that won't let, if you've got green, won't let you in the stables and stuff like that.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
And our Bettor's Destroyers colours are green, and Justin distraught me the other night. Can you take them away? And Junior said, yeah, I don't want to touch them ever again.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah. And I said, well, it hasn't hurt Bart Cummings. Didn't hurt Bart Cummings over the years.
Yeah.
Yellow and green. It didn't hurt Luke McCarthy.
Peter Tonkin.
Yellow and green,
Yeah, very true.
Jane Davies and Noel were all green. But yeah, I know a lot of trainers just wouldn't let you in if you had green. Yeah. One punter said to me as well, those underpants, get pack of 5, and if one's green, he throws them out. Who was a professional punter as well.
Please.
There you go.
It's a good colour, green. It's one of my favourite colours.
Really?
Maybe that's because I've got greenish eyes, so I'm seeing everything through green eyes.
There you go.
I don't actually think that'll be the case, but it's pretty good.
So it's no kaleidoscopic effect.
No, it's a pretty good argument for it, though.
Yeah.
But,
well, we better give the segment a sponsor a plug. It's Bayswater Mazda Morts. Driving is better in a Bayswater Mazda, and got us down to Bunbury beautifully. I don't think we're allowed back after what happened the weekend subsequent.
Yes. No, the Bayswater Mazda is a beautiful car to drive, and I can vouch for that because mine is magnificent, travels along beautifully, fuel efficient, very comfortable, and 5-year warranty on the Mazda, which is you don't need.
And a reliable car as well.
Very reliable. And talking about reliable, go and see the reliable team down there at Bayswater Mazda, corner of Guildford and
Garrett.
I always go to say Hardy. Garrett.
Yeah, no, Garrett Road.
Yeah, Garrett Road.
Yep.
In Bayswater. Great team, great coffee.
Yep. Certainly is the best place to be. And new used cars, great array. They've got a new, Mazda got that new SUV out that's apparently going gangbusters as well. So go and see the team at Bayswater Mazda. All right. Now, you've got your horse won, but your tip got beat. Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah, I assume so. I can't even remember what it was now. But
it's long time.
Oh, it was better than Mint at
correct.
Northam. Yeah, went okay. Just didn't have much luck. It's going around drawn inside second row on the weekends. Probably some chance.
Yeah.
So what have you got for us this weekend?
We got first of all look at the meeting. So we got Central Whippet, Kellerberrin on Sunday. 8 races there. The first at 12:14. Pinjarra on Monday, 8 races there. The first at 12:18. And a big 10 race card at Gloucester Park on Tuesday, Morts. The first at 4:47 on Tuesday. Where are we going?
We'll go to Kellerberrin first. I've got one there, and I've got one at Pinjarra as well.
Okay. I like it.
Also, our listenership is definitely in double figures now.
Really?
I got a confirmed listener on Monday.
Really?
At Pinjarra.
Outstanding.
Yeah. Hayden Charles, he's on.
Oh,
He's
no,
on.
Hayden. Yeah,
Oh.
Hayden.
He was already included.
Yeah,
in
Jesus.
Hayden.
Okay, I was still struggling then.
When
No,
we're-
no. We got to 10 because
Yeah.
we'd left Betsy out.
Betsy
who
out,
came
yeah.
back and confirmed
Yeah.
that he's a listener.
Yeah,
so
no,
okay.
Hayden
Routine.
let us know at the APG sales. We're standing
Yep.
in line to get the sausage on a roll.
Yep.
And Hayden was with us and had a chat. No, Hayden's a long time listener.
Oh, okay.
First time caller.
Anyway,
But anyway, can we double count?
well, we might need a redraw. In terms of the tip, race 3, number 10 at Kellerberrin on
Okay.
Sunday, Our Lady Jen. Now, this horse produced a really good finale there at Northam last Saturday, coming from back in the piece. The bird had just flown and she missed the boat a little bit, but she got going and hit the line hard behind Seagrass there in that contest. Looks a race where she can sit back and pounce and be hard to beat. Race 3, number 10, Our Lady Jen.
Yeah, for Jess Moore, beautifully bred by Captain Treacherous out of a Better's Delight Me. Like beautiful, bred in the purple. And
Very nice.
be interesting to see what price we comes up, but it's the anchor bet for Kellerberrin on Sunday, and then Monday at Pinjarra. What do you got for us? Are you working in any of these meetings? You made a comeback on Pinjarra Monday.
Yeah, that was just because Matt Young was sick Monday,
Oh, that's
Tuesday.
right. Yeah, he couldn't do the show on Tuesday. I'm surprised Mort didn't get caught up for the one out, one back.
I was ready to go.
Yeah,
I'd done all
the
the.
dulcet tones.
Yep, done.
Well, he
all
was
of the,
clearly up all night preparing. Look at the
Well, you'd
5
make more.
o'clock shadow he's got going.
Bit of stubble there.
You and Betsy talking to make more sense than me and you talking.
I don't know if you get a word in though, Morts.
I know he's. He doesn't mind a chat, does he, Betsy? He's very good. He's a listener, and he. I always read his Facebook blog. Always some interesting stuff, and he's very passionate.
When you get a spare half hour.
He's very passionate.
Yeah,
is,
good.
Betsy.
Good on you, Betsy.
Hey, you know, he was a very good footballer.
Really?
Russell Betts played for.
Yeah, he
Claremont.
said he was a good athlete, but
He played for Claremont, WAFL,
yeah, okay.
and he was a good footballer.
Yeah, so he was better than me then because I played development squad and then I got axed when Colts came around for East Fremantle, so didn't make it. Wasn't good enough. But you know who is good enough, and this one is dedicated to you, Morts. It's a standing start trot at Pinjarra on Monday.
Here we go.
Grand Majestic Bells. This horse, very good when winning at Pinjarra 2 starts ago, did the work and soldiered on gallantly to win that race, and then went to Gloucester Park and galloped a couple of times. So it is fraught with a bit of risk. But she went really well there at Gloucester Park despite those errors, and providing she does everything right, I think she'll be too good for them. She's got 20 metres buffer on our Mostoso, who did return well at Gloucester Park last Friday, but I think she just needs to do everything right.
Only one on the 10 metre line might help as well.
And back to Pinjarra, her home track. That was her first time at Gloucester Park under lights. There were a few things against her.
You're making up a few excuses. So race number
1.
Number 5.
Race 1.
Get the cash early.
Number 5. Get the cash early at Pinjarra.
And haven't had a look at Gloucester Park yet. There's 10 races on there, as we said. So Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, we get Saturday night off as far as WA harness this week.
Yeah. It is good to get the Saturday night off for the participants, but by the same token, people who instead have to go to Bunbury on Wednesday, they go through all the week and they're working the whole week, and then they get to Saturday and they're like, oh, now I've got my weekend. But you get to that point where you're just exhausted. So you've got nothing left, and then you roll around to Monday again. So it doesn't really end.
Yeah, it's a bit of a tough gig, and we've seen, when there could be a trainer in race 10 and loads up and off they go. They've got to travel all the way back to Bunbury by the time they get back home and put the horses out. It's midnight, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning. They're looking for a lay-in on a Saturday. They've got to get up and work the horses. So whilst they might get the Saturday night off from the trots, it's a very, very tough job. Michael and I decided that it's probably not for us.
Yeah.
Which is a good thing.
A lack of ability helped.
You have to remember.
Helped that, but yeah, it wasn't a hard decision to make.
No,
we did offer our services to Justin and say, look, we'll come down. He said, no, look, I think I'll be fine. I think I'll get through it by myself. So
you have to remember as well, we only see the actual race meeting as well. There's so much before, after. Training horses, you've got people getting up in the wee hours of the morning.
3, 4 o'clock in the morning. Yeah, It's a really tough gig.
Yeah.
So they deserve a break.
They do. So do not.
Probably it's very hard to get a break because they're horses. They've got to be still got to be fed and looked after and things like that. So it's a demanding job.
Sure
Very
is.
demanding.
Have you got anything else for us?
I've got a fable for you, Morts.
Thank you.
Okay.
It's the only reason I came in.
Now I've got to actually try and remember what my point of this fable was.
It's always good to have a point. I think
You lost me halfway through last week.
We established that a point is a very good thing to have.
Okay. Yep. I've got a hold of it now.
Yeah.
So this is called The Wolf and His Shadow. So a wolf leaves his lair one evening in fine spirits and an excellent appetite. As he ran, the setting sun cast a shadow far out of the ground, and it looked like he was 100 times bigger than he was. "Why," the wolf exclaimed proudly, "see how big I am. Fancy me running away from a puny lion. I'll show him who is fit to be king, he or I." Just then, an immense shadow blotted him out entirely, and the next instant a lion struck him down with a single blow. The point is, do not let your fancy make you forget realities. And by this I mean, when you're doing the form, sometimes you can have a fanciful prognostication that a certain scenario will develop and you can get carried away with it, and it's just not realistic. I probably fell into this trap on Monday a little bit in one race. You just need to keep your head screwed on, and you have to consider what is the most likely scenario rather than this far-fetched fairy tale that you've produced in your mind, and you have to remain grounded.
There we go.
Got me again. I'm with him. Yep, absolutely.
Be moored in reality.
Yes, correct. I like that.
Thanks.
Any cryptic?
No
tip?
cryptics this week. I had a look at the Gloucester Park meeting, and I think everything's pretty accurately... I couldn't find anything at double figures that really stood out to me. So we'll leave it.
All right, we'll have to see if we can find one in the next couple of weeks. Hayden, thanks for your contribution. Good luck tomorrow night.
Thanks.
Hopefully you're in the finish for the $30,000 race, but good to see you won on Monday and paid some bills for you.
Yeah, well, I got the second prize money this week, and that was welcome, so the winnings will be even more welcome.
Very good. Might be able to buy your horse maybe a box of tissues after some of the things you said about.
Hey, to his credit, he actually is a lovely natured horse, and Kiara said he is a real dude to have around, so he is a lovely little animal.
Oh, well, he's got a future on what he did on Monday.
That's great.
So
he's actually a little bit bigger than I thought he was, because he was positioned up next to Sweet Lucifer, who's tiny, and he was actually bigger than him by a considerable margin. So he's not as puny as I first thought him to be.
No, well, enjoy the win, because they're hard to get, and I know Michael and I have said a few things about our mighty mare, but she was a well-performed mare.
Yeah,
she had a good career, and she's now being retired, but that's a good win, and like you said, you're racing Friday night and hopefully heading towards a final, and you never know.
Sounds like we're doing some kind of like penitentiary, like forgiveness, thankfulness session or something. Confessing how we've gone wrong in the past.
We haven't got that long a time.
We don't have that long. We do not have that long.
Yes, they will kick us off eventually. All right, Hayden, thanks for your time. We'll speak to you next week. We'll hear from you on Twitter on Tuesday at Gloucester Park.
Yep,
that's the next time.
I'll be there.
Morts, thanks for your time. Big show. Great to chat to Dylan.
Oh, fantastic. It was really good. Good insight about his new property, and absolutely going amazing at the moment, that stable, and got some great drives tomorrow night, so looking forward to seeing if we can't get a treble at least for him.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, no, he's got a big book of drives coming up, and some horses engaged that, going to be awfully hard to beat. So good luck to Dylan or everyone out there, and hopefully Bombers found us a winner or two as well.
Yes, feeling very confident. So looking forward to Gloucester Park, Calabaron on Sunday, then Pinjarra Monday, and Gloucester Park Tuesday. Another big week of harness racing.
It sure will. We'll be back next week. Thanks for your time. Until next week, it's bye for now.
Chances are you're about to lose. For free and confidential support, visit gamblinghelpline.org.au.